Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maryann Okonkwo. I am a content creator, a Nigerian content creator currently based in Minnesota, and I make videos regarding my lifestyle, my graduate day in the life as a career person and as a student most recently. And I'm really excited to share all my journey with you, and today is one of such videos. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the cultural shock that I experienced when I first came to the US, and I'm just doing this just so if there's anybody out there considering traveling out or relocating, these are some things that you should be mindful of so you don't feel embarrassed when corrected or something. So I just remembered something, so I'm just going to quickly add it. While I do that, I'm going to be doing my makeup. I am so excited to be finally doing my makeup in what seemed like forever. If you guys have been following my channel, you know that the last time I filmed a tutorial on my face, it has been the longest time. So I'm really excited to be doing that today. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do enjoy it at the end of this watching this video, give me a huge thumbs up, like this video, and most importantly, turn on the notification bell after subscribing so you don't miss out on all the fun videos that I have coming up for you. If you feel like you want to binge watch my videos, I'm going to leave them all linked down below. Please follow me on Instagram if you want to. I own a small business here in Nigeria. In Nigeria, it's called MBP Buses, where we sell original wholesale lip gloss supply for anybody out there thinking to start their own lip gloss business. I also have one which is like globally put here in the US and in Nigeria. It's called maybeautypro.shop. Check us out on Instagram, and if you're interested in having a makeup session with me, maybeautypro, or you just want to see some tutorials. With all the introduction out of the way, let's go straight into today's video. I'm just so excited. I hope I don't forget anything, but if I do, and just leave them in the comment section. Recently, I've been loving using this cleansing solution. I'm going to prime my face with this wonderful face primer. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I love this primer. This should be my second or third bottle, and as you can see, it's almost finished, so I'm definitely going to go back and get some more. Just gonna put like 3 pumps of it all over my face. So where do I start off from? I already listed out like everything, so occasionally I'm going to be looking at my phone. Starting off, which is like the most important, you know, we Nigerians, we love greeting. We're usually very polite, and me as a person, that was how I was brought up. If I see you like 1,000 times, I will greet you 1,000 times or even more. My colleagues in Nigeria, when I was working, they got so frustrated and irritated because it's like, why are you greeting me? You've seen me like 10 times already, you're still greeting me. But I mean, I'm not the only one. A lot of people in Nigeria also like that. We greet a lot, which is not a bad thing, but if you're relocating, you know, when in Rome, act like a Roman. So when I came in newly, you guys can imagine, like somebody who was so used to greeting people, it was a habit that I couldn't like easily throw away. So I'll be on the road, I'll be greeting everybody. I will be like, see, the white or the black or all of them, I'll be, whether I know you, I don't know you, I will greet you. And I just noticed that whenever I did that, people always looked at me weird, like, is she on drugs or something? No. So one day I was going out with my husband. We're going for a quick trip at Target to get some groceries and house supplies, and he noticed that I was like greeting everybody, greeting me. I was like, this is not Nigeria. Like, they don't need your greeting. Your greeting doesn't add anything extra to them, so like stop it, because you don't even know who you're greeting, you know. And at that point, you know, I actually stopped, because one, whenever I greeted, they always look at me weird, like maybe this girl is on drugs or something. It's always like a weird reception, you know. The only thing I do, which is one thing I notice, is that if you're walking as a black person, if another black person or black man or woman, they see me, they smile, I smile back. They nod, I nod back. But I don't go greeting, oh hi, good afternoon. That was what I was doing before. Oh hi, good afternoon. Oh hi, good afternoon. They must have thought there was something wrong with it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh my god. Anyways, I've stopped doing that, by the way. I need to go and restock and get like more foundation. Recommend like good foundations for me, especially for my clients. I want to start like stocking like some high-end, in quotes. I feel like, you know, by the time I do that, I'm able to even charge more, because of course all this like foundations and stuff. But the only foundation, this is Too Faced, and this is a high-end foundation. I don't really like it as much as I like my NYX. The next thing I wanted to talk about is, so in Nigeria we have traffic light, but we don't obey traffic lights. Like, you will see the light green and cars will be driving, human beings will be walking. Like, you know, I got so used, because I grew up all my life, I grew up in Lagos, so I was already used to that lifestyle of even like crossing the expressway, highway, people cross. Like now that I remember like doing all that back in Lagos, I always cringe because I'm like, something bad had happened to me then. It's very risky. It's a risky lifestyle, and I think Nigerian government need to do better. But the only thing on their head is how to embezzle money and whatnot. So let's leave the government and politics out of this, because whenever I talk about it, it just really irritates me. You need to obey traffic lights. If you don't, you're gonna get a ticket. And if you found jailbreaking or jailwalk, that's when the light doesn't show pedestrian and you're walking. If there's a police around, they could actually arrest you. I haven't been arrested so far, but and I don't do it, so I guess that's why. And one thing I also struggled with was because we didn't obey traffic lights back home, and I didn't even know what each of the traffic lights meant back home because none of us obeyed it. So I didn't know what. I knew that red was stop, I knew green is go, and I knew yellow is get ready. But as somebody, a pedestrian crossing the road, I didn't know when I was supposed to cross the road. Apparently, when the light is stop, you're not supposed to cross yet. There's another light beside it that is going to show a pedestrian. Like, I'm going to try to insert a picture and just show you guys what that's when you can cross, unless they don't have that. And on the just where you're standing, you're going to see a bell or thing that you're supposed to press so that it tells like the traffic light something that there are pedestrians that actually want to cross. Some places you don't have to press that because it does that automatically, like on routine. So I struggle with that. I didn't know when to cross and when not to. So just a quick how you're supposed to do that. So there's the red, there's the yellow, and there's the green, and just beside you're going to see one other that is going to either be like a hand like this stop. That means you're not supposed to cross as a pedestrian. But when you see it turn white with the pedestrian crossing, I'm going to insert a picture, that's when you're supposed to cross. And after it goes off, you have 14 seconds depending on what city. I went to LA the other time and I noticed that the gas was like 10 seconds, but here in the area where I live, and I think it's also different in like different areas where I stay, you have 14 seconds after that white thing goes, and you're going to see it blinking, the hand blinking. That tells you you still have 14 seconds to either finish crossing or run across. So I hope I was able to explain it a little bit better. If I find another video, you know, that talks about it, I'm going to try to insert it because I think it's very, very important. That was one thing I struggled. So you just see me standing, you know, I'll just be standing, especially when there are no other, because if there are other people with me trying to cross, I see them walking, that means I should join them and walk too, because it's, you know, we're supposed to walk. But if there's nobody, I struggle. So how I now learned it was anytime I went out with my husband, I would monitor him and look at the sign. Once he starts moving, I noted when he started moving, and that was, you know, when that white pedestrian sign, and I did that, and so far, you know, so good. Yeah, so that's one thing you definitely want to be aware of, you know, as somebody who's moving to another country. Here, especially in the US, if they catch you on your own, even like while driving, right, you're not supposed to, you need to stop. The other time, our family friend and I were my husband and I were coming back from somewhere or so, and the police stopped us. I don't know, maybe because we're all talking in the car, and he perhaps forgot to look at the red sign and then drove straight up from nowhere. You just see the police, it's like they're hanging in the air and waiting for you to commit a crime, and they'll just come. So from nowhere, the guy just came, stopped us. Luckily for our family friend, right, his record is very clean. So when they pleaded with them that, oh, he didn't, like, it wasn't intentional, and the guy, like, when they stop you, they usually like take a few seconds in their car, run your license plate to see if you have any history. If you have any history, then no begging, no, they'll just give you a ticket. But luckily he has a clean record. He hasn't been stopped before, and you know, he's been in the US for a very long time, and for him not to have that, you know, that told the police officer that it was actually a genuine mistake. So he just said, don't do it next time, and we were good to go. And as I was saying about traffic light, very, very important, and you have to study the roads and driving. I'm going to talk about it as we go on. It's actually one of the points that I wanted to talk about, but that's everything you need to know about lighting. Now for concealer, I'm going to be using my Born This Way concealer. I love this concealer. This concealer happens to be like one of the best concealers that I've used, and you know, it's just really good, really good. It's expensive, but I really, really, really like it, especially this particular shade. This shade is called Cookie, so just in case anybody out there is wondering. Yes, another thing that I wanted to talk about is, you know how in Nigeria, if you're even me, so I'm guilty of it, I'm walking on the road, I'm eating maybe burger, peas or something, I'm eating biscuit or something, and then once I'm done, I just throw it on the road, you know, or on the floor. You can't try that here, because if you try it, somebody will actually tell you to pick it. You know, in some places I've been to, like some parts of LA, they don't really care, but places like some clean places here in Minnesota, you can't do that. Even in places that are not clean, like now I'm so conscious about it that I feel bad, like I can't do it. Like if I have something I'm eating and I'm done eating it, I put it in my bag, bring it home and dispose it. Luckily, as you go on many streets, as you go, literally every 5 seconds or every 10-20 steps, there's gonna be like a trash where you can dispose it and throw it away. And I think that actually helps. And I think that's why a lot of people in Nigeria, Lagos, still struggle with throwing it on the floor, because there are no, you know, here they're like dustbins like every 10-20 steps, but back home you don't have that, so you're kind of like forced to throw it on the floor. But here you can't do that, because you know they could actually give you a ticket and say that you're violating environmental something. So they have so many laws here that it's so hard to keep track. So you just always want to be on the right side of the law and make sure you're not violating any. So yeah, you can't throw things anyhow. Even if you, especially now that we own our home, when you're disposing trash, it has to be a certain place. Like I went downstairs now and I put the trash bag on top of the dustbin. My husband came and told me no, you can't do that, because they won't take that bag. So everything has to be in the trash bin itself and covered for them to take it. So there are just so many laws regarding that, and I think that's one thing that really helps them remain like very clean in many parts of the world, like cities here. So something I had to get used to. Now let's talk about driving. As you guys know, we recently got our car. I'm going to be doing a car tour very soon. I'm just looking for a perfect time. I could actually even do it today, depending on how the weather gets, because it's currently cloudy. Whether it opens up later today, if not, I'm just gonna have to find some other time to do it for you guys. Since I started driving, I wasn't driving back home. I didn't even own a car. I didn't have driver's license or anything, so it was very hard. As you guys know, I failed my road test, if not 3 times, I think 2 or 3 times before I now like finally passed. They are very strict about it. If you don't know how to drive, you don't know how to drive. It's not like Lagos where it's based on who know you. Like you can actually go to the licensing this thing and pay money and then get your license. You know, you can't do that here. Like you need to, and there are several stages. So you apply, you do the knowledge test to know all the laws and know what all the lights mean, how to park and what's not. You do that and you have to pass that. Once you pass that, then you go and do your road test. So as I said, I didn't drive back home, but I know a couple of people who, you know how things are in Lagos now. It's like once you have the money and once you know somebody, it's very easy for you to just like do anyhow or do anything. So it's not like that here. You need to like be very conversant. My husband used to drive back home, went for his road test yesterday and he flunked it. So that should tell you something. You have to, it's very different. I'm not gonna lie, it's like very different. Even like when you're like driving, now that I drive, I passed my test I think on the 4th try. Yeah, so I can talk about that in a separate video, because oh my goodness, I think I'll actually film that after this. So because I just feel it's something that you guys should know, especially if you're relocating and you're trying to get your driver's license. So I did finally I passed, and then I tried to drive around, and then I was like looking at the signs. It's very different. And one thing I can tell you, you don't honk anyhow. If you honk anyhow, like I can't remember the last time I used my honk since I started driving. On the road, you don't hear boom 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 boom. Nope. The only time I've heard a honk is when I'm turning and the person behind me is very impatient, and you know I'm taking my time to turn because of course I'm a new driver. That's the only time, and that has happened just twice. But aside that, you know how in Lagos, boom 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 everywhere, buses shouting while driving. No, that doesn't, it's not like that here. Like you don't, like people don't use their honks here unless it's like emergency, maybe they're braking by force, you know, and you stop suddenly and then they are trying to stop, they'll just honk. Do you get? So to alert you that wake up or you're on the road. So but aside that, people don't honk at all. So that's that about driving. Another thing I wanted to talk about is that here you can buy anything. Like you can live la vida loca, not la vida loca, like you can live a large life on credit, like because you can get anything you want on literally on credit. And I like that because one, you get to enjoy life before life takes you away, and it also helps you just like, because see, and you know the thing, to you think it's bad, but to everybody else here, you actually need debt to build your credit score. So and that's what I'm going to be talking about afterwards. So the more debt, like I don't know how to explain, I'm not saying go and get like carry all the debt in the world, but you need to have maybe 2 or 3 debts, and then you need to make payments on a regular basis for you to build your credit, because credit score is very important. Even when we're getting our car, one thing that really helped us was the fact that even my husband's credit score wasn't that great, but because I had a very good credit score, we were able to get a very very like good interest rate for our car purchase. So yeah, exactly. You know, you can literally get anything you want on credit as long as you have a good credit score. That's what I was going to say. You can buy anything on credit as long as you have a very good credit score, because nobody will want to borrow you money there's no guarantee, or you don't have a record of making payments on time, or not spending like your credit, like spending your like the whole credit. So if they borrow you, or if they give you $5,000, right, you're not supposed to spend the whole $5,000. You're only supposed to spend 2,000, max 2,500. But if you go about and spend like 3,000, 4,000, and you don't pay it back that same day or the next day or before your payment cycle, then that tells them that this person knows. So next time, or it's even going to reflect on your score. So when you want to buy something on credit next time and they check and they see that your payment history is not good, they're going to give you a high credit in interest, you know. So I'm not really a professional regarding that, but that's just something that I've noticed and, you know, I'm working on. So I can't really talk much about it, but that's just like a brief summary about it. By the way, for contouring, I'm using the Juvia's Place. I really love this Juvia's Place stick foundation for contouring. As you guys, the one I was using before was the Black Opal, but that one finished, and I don't think I've seen Black Opal here. So, and I'm sure I can find it on Amazon, but they're like super pricey. So I'm like, okay. And these guys were doing like sale, and they were selling this for $10. So I was like, why not? So I got it, and so far I have been loving it. It's really, really good. It's very creamy. I feel like it's even, you can use it like a foundation, as a foundation for somebody who has dry skin. Another thing you probably also want to know is that laws here, I know I've mentioned it before, they are very, 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 so this is not like Nigeria. You can't come and be doing, and that's why you see many celebrities who relocate, they are very humble once they come here, because since you can buy anything, if you want a Lamborghini today, you will get it on credit. So they humble themselves sort of. And you know the thing where they say America is like land of dreams or land of opportunity? No kidding, no, because it's like, I'm not gonna lie, since like moving to the US has been the best decision of my life, because if I was still in Nigeria, I probably would still be struggling. I'm not even gonna lie. But here, like, look at, like, I used to do makeup back home, and then people will be pricing me 5,000. Somebody will even say like 1,500. But here, you can, the same service that you're offering back home, you can like make huge money from it. You see, whether, I know that, I mean, the currency, they're obviously different, but it's still the same idea. Like, if in Nigeria, anything you do, the way the government is set is to frustrate you and make you just like give up. But here, there are so many, like, they will even be offering you loan. Come and take loan. No, I know they do that back home, but I don't really trust them. But here, come and take loan. No, you know, it's just really good. I'm not gonna lie. So the opportunity is definitely way better here than back home. I know my husband, as he's listening, he's probably going to disagree, but to an extent, he knows that a lot of people in Nigeria, even when I was in Nigeria, I was really struggling. But when I moved here, best decision. Anything you touch will turn to gold here. I'm not even kidding you. Like, there are things that you suffer head back home in Nigeria, but when you come here, they always look at you like a how? And this is something you just do even in your sleep, do you get? But they'll be praising you, you know, because as if, no, you've done like one huge thing. But in Nigeria, people don't really appreciate you. They're like, should be doing it, that's your job. But here, they're like, oh, this, da 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 da. Yeah, in Nigeria, another thing I wanted to say is, here there's something they call tipping. So when you go to a restaurant or go anywhere, so literally you're making your money for yourself and for the government, because if you go out, any service you do, they always ask you to tip. Initially I had a problem, I probably still have a problem with it, because I'm like, it's almost as if, no, they feel entitled, you know, like, oh, you must give me tip. They even have like fixed rates. They'll just tell you 15%, 18%, 20%, others. Do you get? So it kind of like ties you. The lowest you can do is like maybe 15% or 10%. And when you calculate it, like, that's why that's one thing that really discouraged me from going out. I'd rather just go and buy my food, come back here to groceries, and then cook my food here. Not because I'm stingy, but because I'm still trying to understand. In Lagos, like, they do that, but not like, if you give them, they're very happy. But here, if you give them, they're like, you're supposed to be giving me. Do you understand? So they don't really appreciate it as much as when you tip somebody in Lagos. Do you get? And that's why most people, once they spend like 5-10 years here and then they go and visit Nigeria and they are like tipping, they're always like shocked. Why are you thanking me? It's okay, you don't have to go appreciating them for tipping. But here, they're like, they feel entitled to tipping, like you have to tip them. And when you tip them, you're like, okay. Do you get? And depending on how much you tip them, so the more you tip them, the more they are probably going to respect you. And I think that's a problem, because I'm already paying you for your service. Almost everywhere I went to tip. My husband too was supporting them, telling me, yeah, friend, you have to tip, da 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 da. I'm like, I'm not making my money for you and somebody else, you know. I'm making my money. If I want to go out, I just want to go out, enjoy myself and come back, not enjoy myself and help another person enjoy themselves. Do you understand what I mean? So don't take it the negative way. Don't take it that, oh, she's stingy or anything, but I'm just saying my mind. You get, it's just that entitlement. There was one video I was watching, and where somebody, an Uber, if I find the video, I'm gonna put it here, where an Uber Eats person went to deliver food items, you know, and when they delivered it, they were like, the person, I think the person did not tip, so they were like, oh, they were insisting, oh, you have to tip me, I drove a long distance. That was just a whole bad attitude, and when I saw it, I shared it with my husband deliberately because, you know, I wanted to prove a point. I was talking the other time and he was like, and I always, like, depending on my mood, like, even if you're frowning, you know, you're easy, no, it doesn't change anything. If I want to tip, I'll tip. If I don't want to tip, I won't. Do you get? So don't get me wrong, I appreciate what you're doing, but I just don't like people being entitled to my money. Do you get? Aside from if I'm like paying for the service, do you get? It doesn't make sense. And then you'll now be forcing me to tip. I'm like, if I want to tip, I will tip. It's based on how you can't expect to give me a pause. If there was one place I went, like the last place now, like imagine, or somewhere else that I went to, or where I went to go and make my hair, and I had to wait 5 hours before they did like cornrows for me. So obviously you don't expect me to tip. Do you understand? So whether you frown from today to tomorrow, I still would not tip because I didn't get an exceptional service. You understand what I mean? So it should be based on the service that you offered that I should tip, not. Yeah, I talked about that for too long because that's one thing that really pissed and irritated me the most. One thing I struggled with trying to understand is how somebody, a human being like you, would hate you so much, you know, to the extent that they kill you. Do you understand what I mean? That's how it is here. You know how some Igbos or some Yorubas hate some Igbos? That's a different level, at least to an extent. I don't think they can kill you. Here, oh my goodness, it's like you're shit to them, and they don't hide it. And that's the funny thing, they do not hide it at all. And it's 100% real. I'm not gonna lie. The number of times that I've met, like, I've just been here for a little over a year, and I have been in a racism encounter, let's say like 3 times already. I'd like to talk about my first experience, but because anybody can see this video and I don't want it to be like, oh, she is not welcoming, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I just want to let you guys know that it's 100% real. There are people who hate black people, like hate people because of their color or because of their accent or something. The other day we went to Miami. There was this black woman. Obviously she was on drugs because of the way she was talking, but she was just insulting us, that this, that, we came, we took their money, we this, that. Me, I even thought, oh, she was talking to somebody else, or she, you know, and it was as if she was even following us, using style to follow us, and she was just insulting us, you know. If that is coming from a black person, now imagine. I don't even have to imagine, because I'd encountered where a white person, like, you know, insulted me. So one thing, or long story short, one way to always avoid it, and I noticed that all of those times it all started with hey miss. Whenever you hear somebody calling you, especially if the person is white and the person is calling you hey miss, all the times that I've answered, you know, just because I'm nice, I'm like, oh, maybe they need help or something. It's always, oh, to yab me or insult me or be racist, you know. So I always, and I'm not kidding, I'm not joking, so I'm still trying to get used to. And it's so bad because now it just like affected me mentally. Like, I hate going out, and I'm so happy that we got this car, because now I don't have to walk anymore. I just literally enter my car, turn on the music, and I'm out. And then when I'm in the store, I just plug in my earpiece so that nobody talks to me. I shouldn't have to do that, you know. I shouldn't have to do that, you know. I'm still getting used to it. But long story short, whenever you hear hey miss, don't even bother answering, because 9 out of 10, especially if it's coming from a white person, they probably want to just insult you. I have been insulted all the time that I answered. So you want to be very super careful. This is 100% from my personal experience. This has happened severally, and I'm not like making up stories or anything. Just let me know, Sha, if you've ever encountered it, because I have a couple of my friends who the same thing as well. And when I was lamenting to I think my family friend was present. It's like, you have to grow tough skin, or you have to really grow tough skin. And that's what I did. Lost my earpiece, so invested in getting AirPods, and now I just block my ears. I just feel bad because I shouldn't have to do that, you know. Take advantage of all the opportunities that I'm presented and make something out of them. So I really don't care whether you like me or not. That's one mentality you need to have. If not, you just be crying every day. Yeah, as I said, I don't want to dwell too much on it, because, you know, I don't want it affecting my career or possible employer seeing it later and thinking, oh, she's, you know, reading meanings or unnecessarily meanings to it. So I'm just gonna end that there. And then one other thing I wanted to talk about here is that people are so private here. You can live in one place. Like our former apartment, we were there for like a year. I didn't know the two people living beside us. It's not like Lagos, where I mean in some parts of Lagos it's probably like that, but at least you see your faces like once in a while. But here it's almost very hard for you to see them. Everybody minds their business. Even your neighbor can pass you. You people are coming out from the same door. You won't say hello. My before person, I would say, you know, hi, how are you? But now after spending 1 year, I always mind my business. So even if we're coming out from the same place, I'll just keep my mouth shut and I'll look away. Do you get? So, and not because I'm a snob, but that's how it is here, and it's just something that I had to learn the hard way. Because if you go greeting, they'll think, oh, maybe you want to come and you're trying to understand them, so that you come and kill them or something. It's just very weird the way. Another thing I want to talk about and educate you guys on is like restaurants. Like if you go out, you know how you go to like restaurants in Lagos, you go to Lagos and immediately you can sit down anywhere. You just find one seat and sit down. You can't do that in most places here. When you go to a restaurant here, you have to look for a waiter or hostess, or they will typically come and meet you, and you tell them how many you guys are, and like so that way they will know the number of seats you guys would need before you go and sit down. Always do that. The last time I mistakenly did not do that, a bad thing happened to me. You know, I was asked to stand up, and I know you guys are going to say, oh, why can't you report? The system here is built to support them. So whenever you even complain about it, there's literally nothing the police would do about it or somebody else would do about it, because the system has been built to always support them. It's in their favor, so you can't really do anything. The only thing you can do is try to be safe, mind your fucking business, and just do you. Do you understand? Like, don't try to be friends with anybody. Like, just mind your business. The next thing I want to talk about is like the bureaucracy that goes in here. You can go somewhere and like you can never be late to an appointment in Lagos, right? Even if you're late, at least you say, I beg, give one story. Here they don't fucking care. If you miss your appointment, like your appointment gets cancelled, whatever money you pay to them goes to them, even though you haven't gotten the service. So I mean, in that sense, it kind of like makes everybody accountable and makes you punctual. That's punctuality. So there's nothing like African time at all, because if you go somewhere, you have an appointment, you go late, they will cancel it and then they take your money because you wasted their time, and that's the time that they could have used to attend to another customer. So that makes sense. So you want to be very cognizant and like respectful of other people's time. So that's one thing about like taking appointments and stuff that you definitely need to know about. Then regarding begging, so you can't beg anybody. If you're caught doing something wrong, you're gonna get a ticket, you're gonna get caught, police is going to be called. There's nothing like sorry, I'm sorry. No, like I'm sorry. So you have to be very careful whatever you're doing. Try not to be on the wrong side of the law, and that's the only way for you to be safe and free. Even as you're doing that, there's no guarantee, but it's much better than just not doing anything, you know. Hey, and this is basically the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. It was definitely refreshing for me to be able to do it, and it seems like I still got my skills. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, give me a huge thumbs up, and most importantly, you guys should turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified once or anytime I upload a new video up on my channel. And if there are any cultural shocks that you experienced when you moved to another city or to another country, let me know in the description box. Let's chat down below. I really enjoy chatting with you guys and talking with you guys, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Don't forget, like this video, share with your friends or anyone who is planning to relocate, and see you next time. Bye.